What's up everyone, it's Jason here. Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to give you 5 tips on how to thrift like a pro. I consider myself a thrifting king, a thrifting god, if you will. And fun fact, I was never actually into thrifting when I was a kid. Growing up, my family, aka my mom and my dad, loved to go to the thrift store and look for used clothes, used junk, warehouse, pots, pans, things like that. And I was always like kind of grossed out by touching used items, I guess. And so I actually just didn't like going to the thrift stores with my parents. It wasn't until I actually started working at a thrift store that I, built up my tolerance and started to get used to it. And now I go thrifting once every week, I would say. So I thought it would be cool to kind of give you guys my own tips on how to thrift and what I think is very important when it comes to thrifting. So before this video starts, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, like this video, and comment down below any other tips you have for any new beginner thrifters. I would like to know, and I'm sure other people would like to know as well. So without further ado, let's get with the video. Alright, so tip number 1 is to making sure you dedicate a whole day for just thrifting. Thrifting can take a long time, and it can also be overwhelming, especially when you see rows of clothes and shelves full of pots and pans and cool home decor. You're gonna spend a lot of time in a thrift store. Sometimes you're gonna even go to multiple thrift stores in one day. Therefore, you need the entire day to go thrifting. Personally for me, I like to go on my days off, and specifically on my days off when I know I have nothing else to do. So like I have no homework, no chores, etc. I can just solely focus on thrifting. Therefore, when I do go thrifting, I'm not clouded by other things that I have to do, other responsibilities, and I can just, again, fully focus on my time thrifting, and I so much enjoy it. It's so relaxing, it's so therapeutic. I feel like everyone should do it. Tip number 2 is to decide whether or not you want to go with friends or go solo. I feel like there's both benefits and negatives with going with friends and going by yourself. I typically tend to go by myself 80% of the time, I would say. But when I do go with my friends, I do have a fun time because they are talking to me and we have like cool conversations while we're thrifting. However, if you are going thrifting with someone, chances are you'll probably find a piece that both of you like, so you kind of have to have that conversation of who gets what pieces and stuff like that. And sometimes you have a chance of a friend not really being into the whole thrifting idea and, probably find touching stuff kind of disgusting or just don't want to dedicate the time. So therefore, that's when you should go by yourself. Another reason why I think there's more benefits to going by yourself than going with a group of friends or a friend is because you can spend, again, all the time in the world. You don't have to rush for anyone, and you can basically take as long as you want or as short amount of time as you want in a thrift store. So tip number 3 is to wear simple clothing. In some thrift stores, the dressing rooms are not open. Therefore, you kind of have to put on clothes over your clothes to see if it fits well, to see if it looks good. And that's why wearing simple clothing is key. When I mean simple clothing, I mean just like a t-shirt and shorts, or maybe like a sleeveless shirt and shorts. So try to avoid like jeans or long sleeve shirts and stuff like that. You definitely want to get clothes that are thinner. The reason why thin clothes is probably best is because when you do put clothes over your clothes, you won't feel kind of restrictive when you put clothes over your clothes. I know now that most thrift stores are now opening up their dressing rooms just because of the whole COVID thing kind of dying down, so definitely make sure when you go to thrift stores that their dressing rooms are open. Okay, tip number 4 is to always look at discounts or different discounted colors on tags and stuff like that. There are many thrift stores that have certain deals on certain colored tags or certain items or whatever. I know that at Goodwill's they have colors of the week that are 50% off. I know some other thrift stores that have specifically like t-shirts are, 25% off, jeans are 40% off, and so on. So always ask if you're unsure if there are any deals that you can do, because you definitely want to take advantage of all of those deals. Tip number 5 is to look at everything and everywhere. And what I mean by that is by looking at every single piece of clothing in the store. And I feel like a lot of people are going to think that is such a waste of time. You're not being very efficient with the time, but it doesn't even have to be for that long. So what I do is that I look at the piece of clothing, and if it sparks interest, if I see an idea with this piece of clothing, I immediately put it in my cart. And if I don't, I just move on to the next one. Simple as that. And why I mentioned to look everywhere is because you can find really good pieces in specific gendered areas. So for example, you can find really good baggy oversized jeans in the men's section, or you can find really cool crop tops, tighter shirts in the women's section. So depending on the type of style that you have, check every single gendered area because you will certainly find some really good piece in those sections. Okay, so the 6th and final tip that I have is to have a mindset that you might come empty-handed sometimes. There are times where I go into a thrift store and I'm so excited, I think I'm gonna haul a big one, and I end up leaving with nothing. And while I do get disappointed, I know that, thrift stores typically put away and restock new stuff every single day. So every single day you go into a thrift store, it's going to be different. And that's why I am always so hopeful when I go thrifting every week. It's like, oh, okay, I'm going to find something cool. I'm going to find exactly what I'm looking for. And that's why having that mindset of just really not having that big of an expectation is very important, because then your feelings won't get hurt when you're left leaving the store with no bags, no loot. Okay, so those are my tips on how to become a pro thrifter. I do have more tips, so if you want a part 2, like this video and comment down below if you guys want a part 2. I definitely have more tips up my sleeve when it comes to thrifting. And with that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, so subscribe to my channel and I will see you all in the next one. Peace!